Good afternoon, everyone. I almost said good morning. And welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 125. And it's Wednesday, so it's a Wednesdays with Skep edition. How are you, Skep?
I'm doing fine. I'm going to say good morning since it's still morning here in Texas, but and it's a comfortable 62 degrees outside Fahrenheit.
It is so warm out here. I think it's almost 40.
Is it really?
Almost, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Of course, we consider that brutally cold, but yes.
It was definitely in the high 30s this morning when I dropped Alex off at school.
That's sunbathing weather up in Ontario, I guess.
Well, and there's like sun beaming through our side door because we've got one of those doors with windows in it.
Yeah.
So it just streams through the window. The cats are super happy. They're just laying on the stairs. Just oh, sun.
Yeah. The cold is going to go away finally.
And it's the first day of spring.
That's right. I forget exactly when it is, what time it occurs. I used to always know that sort of thing, but yeah, it is. It's what is the vernal equinox, right?
Yeah.
And today's sunset will be at exactly 12 hours different from the sunrise. It won't be quite 12 hours different, but it'll be very close to it, within a minute.
I'm so happy. I love checking my weather app and seeing that the sun is setting after 7 o'clock.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It's like, yay!
And that will get later and later until June 21st, which will be the longest day of the year. And then it starts to shorten until December 21st.
I absolutely cannot stand the winter.
The wobble of the earth. The seasons, the march of the seasons. So there you go. Certainly seems to be a lot of strange out there. The season of the strange. I mean, I have a news item that I just put in to the Nerd Sanctuary, subdirectory.
Yes.
Just before the stream. And had you heard about that Chinese lady? Mrs. Jing?
The smoothie lady?
Yeah, the smoothie lady.
The lady who decided, oh, me going to mainline my fruit smoothie.
Yeah, mainline smoothie. Good idea. It's a fantastic way to shut your kidneys down, gain an infection, and basically pollute your blood so badly that you have to have, a full blood transfusion. That means all of your blood replaced. She really hosed herself.
Would she have had to do that would involve chelation, wouldn't it? Or no?
I don't know that it would. I don't think chelation would be fast enough. I think basically what they would be doing is draining her through a major vein, probably femoral, and replacing it through, and I would imagine, an artery, possibly the femoral artery. They might have used an intraarterial needle. You got to do a fast transfer of blood to treat that. That's really fucked.
Wow, chat's filling up quick.
I know. I'm loving it. We do have 16 people in chat. We have 16 people in 15 people in chat, and we have 7 likes. So if we could push that like button, smack it like it was a redheaded stepchild, we would appreciate it. And as I go through chat, this is my one time of the week to say hello to chat. So I'm hogging it. Is that okay?
That's fine. Oh, I want to before you do that, Blind Girl. I am really sorry that I didn't end up coming on last night. Both my kids ended up not stopping whining at me like I mentioned in chat, and then they both melted down and needed to go to bed.
Right.
So mommy
will be better in 16 years.
Mommy duty called. And so sorry I didn't even pop back in chat to say anything.
But we got a bunch of cool people here. We got Seamus Darby and Ghost Dog. Hey guys, got Scott Carr. And W.R. Costin says, greetings, wonderful people and Skep Talk. How are you, wonderful people and Skep Talk? Love you too, W.R. And there's Irate Prostate, my brother in sobriety. And there's Uzi Q, his far better half.
Hi, Uzi
there's
and Irate.
Gene, Ghost Dog, Peter Almond. And let's see, who else do we have? There's Blind Girl. Hi, Blind Girl. Scotsman and Pumpkin Trucker. Izub, which sounds herb, but it's definitely not. And I think that's everybody. That's all the named people I can find. So anyway, hello, guys.
Oh, Gene's put a link in chat about Trek movie for.
Ooh, what is that? That's the. Let me see what that is. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. Oh, yeah, this is the trekmovie.com. Okay, this is the website for a Trek movie with Anson Mount is not returning for Star Trek Discovery Season 3. And one of the biggest changes for the second season was Anson Mount joining the cast as a season regular, stepping into the role of Captain Christopher Pike, the commander of the USS Enterprise. Before Kirk, the season premiere of Discovery features Pike transferring from the out-of-commissioned Enterprise to take command of the USS Discovery, making it his base of operations for his mission to research the red signals and Red Angel. Okay. And let's see. The star who's been tapped to replace Anson Mount is Donna Brazil from the Carter administration, the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
What?
And she will be the new.
Who is it actually?
It doesn't say. Let's see. But people are dropping out of this thing. Looks like Rebecca Romajan or whatever, however you say her name, who has the recurring role as number 1 first officer on the Enterprise, will not be returning also. And
they're finally understanding that people do not like this show.
Ethan Peck may not be back as Spock. You know, it could be a full, you know, lesbian gay takeover of the crew. You know, have a trainee crew.
Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna just keep forcing this show when all of it's like
the Star Trek trainee prize? I don't know. You know, it was a bad idea in concept and execution. I think they should just let it go, truthfully. So
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, you know, oh, there's Gene. Hi, Gene.
I don't think they will introduce Kirk. I don't think they're supposed to.
That would be weird.
They fucking better not.
That would be weird.
If they touch Kirk,
yeah, no,
there's gonna be riots.
Well, what will happen is they'll just be repudiated. They'll just say, "You're another show. You're another show. Have some of the same names. Weird, funny thing, but you're not related to. You're not family anymore. You just stepped outside the family." So they're pretty much there anyway, as far as I'm concerned. I've never liked that show.
Yeah, I would agree. I couldn't even, like, my dad is, I can't figure out if he's trolling me or if he truly does enjoy it. But I would fathom a guess that he is so heartbroken over Star Wars that he is now trying to hold on to Star Trek. Because he didn't hate, like, he liked Star Trek, like he liked the original series and Next Gen and DS9 and stuff like that. But my dad is truly Are you off?
No, I was letting you finish that sentence first.
My dad is truly a Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
And you'll find that out on the May 2/4 weekend when Blind Press debates her father whether Star Wars is better than Star Trek. We just confirmed that on the weekend.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have the
stay tuned.
We're gonna have the redo because we were supposed to do that at the last cottage trip that my dad was gonna go to, but he was sick. So
that should be entertaining.
Yeah, this is the mulligan. This is the redo. But yeah, he keeps saying, Star Trek Discovery is awesome. And I'm trying to figure out if he's trolling me or if he's just that upset about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because, think about it. And anytime I've, been upset about having to wait for a movie, he brings up the good point of, listen, I waited 20 years for fucking it's such a bad movie. I just blanked on the name of the fucking Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
He goes, I waited 20 fucking years for Phantom Menace.
So did I.
And I went,
so did I.
Cal, shut up now.
Yeah. So did I.
He went, I waited 20 years for Jar Jar Binks.
Right. That's exactly when I saw Jar Jar Binks on screen and I heard the voice, I almost felt like I was having an out-of-body experience.
You're like, wait, did I start taking drugs again?
Yeah, this is an acid flashback. This is why you don't do as much acid as I did. And Jar Jar Binks. Oh my God. Me so stupid. Me so stupid. Me won't shut up. Me won't shut up.
I mean, Dad, the pod race, Dad will never shut up about the pod race because that was one of the only good things about that movie. The pod race and the end lightsaber duel.
Yeah.
I think that was the last bastion.
Well,
of the good lightsaber, because even the ones in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith weren't as good.
They were substandard lightsaber duels, in my opinion, too. Another problem is that Phantom Menace, maybe it is better than The Last Jedi. So what? They're both horrifying.
I agree.
And I'll just tell you from the standpoint of somebody who loved Star Trek and loved the first 3 Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Loved them. And when I knew that there were 3 more movies coming out, and we waited years and years, I mean decades for these. Okay. And we kept thinking, man, it's going to be insane with the new special effects and everything.
Yeah.
And you get Jar Jar. And then if possible, it even gets worse with every lesbians with purple hair and Mary Sue's everywhere. It's just horrifying. There's no believable characters. And Han Solo turns into an angry, strange, psychotic white man, dead white man who's, far inferior to his lesbian overlords. Fuck that shit.
Han Solo's just another bitter ex-husband.
Right, exactly. Another bitter ex-husband, exactly. Fuck. And Luke Skywalker is, off on a asteroid someplace, hating his life and, dies ignominiously.
And I mean,
Rose Tico's an asshole.
My dad read me the Phantom Menace book before we went and saw the movie.
Really?
Because try whispering to describe something to a blind person in a Star Wars movie ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's too
you got to
loud.
be the only people in the theater.
You got to, yeah. So,
and I'm go ahead.
So he read me the novelization, of the movie, so that I would have an idea of what was going on when we went to see it. And even in the novelization, Jar Jar Binks is bearable. Like,
I'll take your word for
it. But in the movie, it's just like, oh my god! Like,
yeah, it's like Goofy from the Mickey Mouse cartoons on an acid trip.
Yeah.
Through the Looking Glass Goofy. It's all he'll admit. Yeah, this is Jar Jar Binks. Uzi stated a truth there that I want to pay tribute to. She said that episode 5 was the best, and she is right. That is the best movie. The Empire Strikes Back. It's just an amazing movie. It is. It's one of those. It's like Godfather 2. It's that rare example where the sequel is better than the first, and the first is great. I rate the first 3 as the Empire Strikes Back, and then Star Wars the movie, and then why am I blanking on the
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
It's a gun
in third place.
Shouldn't you be at work?
Hey, Gunny. Also, Black Romeo is here.
Yeah, Black Romeo. He says 1 through 6 happened, and the books happened. I refuse to accept anything else. Yep.
Man.
As bad as Revenge of the Sith was with its no. James Earl Jones. I can't believe they got James Earl Jones to do that.
Yeah.
That
was one of those things where he just says, "I'll do it, but you're going to back up the money truck to my mansion."
Yeah. He probably looked at the script, and I could just hear it in his big rumbly voice. Really?
Really? Yep.
I have to be the one.
Yeah, Ewoks were, you could tell which way it was going. So, anyway, okay, late Star Wars is bad. That's established.
Yes.
And they did that themselves. I've got a few things to relate. I was going to go through that story about the lady who was into alternative health things.
Yes, do that. Let's delve into that article.
And I have an anecdote, a personal Skep story about one of my childhood friends who became the first nonviolent criminal to make it onto the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Oh. And if you'd and by way of being the keyboardist for a famous singer. So if you're interested, I'll tell that story.
Let's hear about Crazy Smoothie Lady first, and then
Crazy Smoothie Lady. Okay. We live in a time where people are experimenting with all kinds of different, health approaches, and there's a lot of different things you can do to get well, I guess. And one of the ways to get well is to kill yourself. I don't know any other way to say it, but woman nearly dies after injecting fruit smoothie directly into veins.
Where do you get a syringe large enough to do that?
Oh, you absolutely can do that. You can actually get veterinary syringes at the feed stores down here. They do that all the time. The 51-year-old woman, known only as Jing, had developed an interest in unconventional, healthy treatments and believed the nutritious mixture would be good for her. She is described as not the shiniest penny in the purse. A woman nearly died after she injected a fruit smoothie directly into her veins in a bizarre bid to stay healthy. The 51-year-old woman, known only as Xing, had reportedly developed an interest in unconventional healthy treatments. On February 22nd, the Chinese woman from Guiyang County in Shenzhou made a smoothie from 20 different fruits. So at least it was organic and made at home. She then did what any of us would do, injected herself with the mixture using an intravenous fusion drip. Xing said, I had thought fresh fruits were very nutritious and it would not do me harm by injecting them into my body. You're supposed to inject them through your mouth, though. That's the key. That's the key there. It's just the wrong orifice.
Honey, it's not inject, it's ingest.
Ingest, exactly. I had no idea that would get me into such trouble. Zheng reported feeling itchy and had a rising temperature for the rest of the night, according to the Zhaozheng Morning Herald. She also had a tendency to turn toward light, strangely. When her husband noticed her discomfort and found out about the injection, she was taken to a hospital, admitted to intensive care. A doctor told local media the woman had a severe infection, damage to her liver, kidney, heart, and was close to dying from multiple organ failure. He said he tried to remove her brain but could not find any. She also had the high chance of developing sepsis. Doctors were able to cleanse her blood of the fruit smoothie using dialysis, so they did dialyze her, and injected her with clotting agents and antibiotics. The woman remained in intensive care. She must not have gotten much in. That's what it was. She didn't ingest much. That's all I can say. If they dialyzed that shit, that means it was highly diluted. The woman remained in intensive care for 5 days before being moved to the kidney unit at the affiliated hospital of Jiangnan University. I can usually get these Chinese names.
Crazy lady.
See, the thing of it is, you'll develop, an embolism. People think an embolism is only from air, but embolism is just basically something that blocks the movement of blood. And it can be, made of stuff, and air is one of the things that it can be. That can basically stop your circulation. Mm-hmm. And a fruit smoothie is going to have a very different consistency to blood. God, it's going to dilute so many. I'm surprised she didn't die of something like hypokalemia. Having the too low a potassium level to where her kidneys wouldn't go. That's probably is what happened, is her kidneys shut down, and that's why they dialyzed her. Yeah. And they just said, we'll try and purify as much of this shit out, and she's not going to get rid of it. Otherwise, she would have gorked. She would have accumulated poisons in her blood, and the med students all call that gorking, because you go crazy. You become, you literally lose your mind. You're still conscious, but you're just not making any sense. You're delirious, and then you die. So, plus the fact it was not sterile.
Could you imagine being that husband? My wife is a fucking moron.
Hi, honey. How was your day? Fine. What'd you do? Well, I injected myself with a fruit smoothie. I'm in intensive care. They're fighting to save my life because I'm a fucking idiot. Oh my God.
Well, and he was the one who called the ambulance, the article said, because he noticed that she was like not feeling well.
She was unconscious. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like,
it was made from 20 different ingredients. I mean, this woman went to town. I mean,
she probably picked like the most rarest, weirdest fruit too.
Jeez. Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't say what I'm looking through there. It doesn't say what the ingredients were, but it doesn't really matter. Anything that you have some discretion over what you inject into your veins. Seriously, it's not a good idea.
If you're going to inject something, could you at least make it heroin? Like something that's actually injectable?
Yeah, have some fun. the fun on your way out. Oh my God, that's really sick. But anyway, so that happened. It's a strange, wide, wonderful world we live in. I don't know what to say. So some news stories. I sit there and I just shake my head.
Can they imply the Chewbacca defense, says Gene? Perhaps.
It's good as any, I suppose. Let's see. Duck Dog says it probably burned like brake fluid going in. Duck Dog apparently has some experience with brake fluid. It's very innocent. It's hey, nobody's judging here. Nobody's judging here. No. Susie Q says, in what universe does this make any sense? Yeah, if you think that's strange, let me tell you a story about one of my friends from childhood.
Oh, yes.
Many, many thousands of years ago, I was a child. And it was actually when we got back from Belgium. I was in the 7th grade.
Back when you crossed the Bering Strait.
Right, exactly. On a sled, on a dog sled, amphibious dog sled. And we got back to the United States, and we moved from Brussels, Belgium, which gets like 220 days of rain a year, to Colorado Springs, Colorado, which
gets 220 days of snow.
It's called the sunniest city in America.
Oh.
And you get a lot of sunshine. You get a lot of sunshine in Colorado Springs, and but you also get a lot of snow. But it's you get a lot of sunny, snowy days in the winter. Yes. It's really kind of a fun place. And so I thought I'd gone to heaven, and I had a neighbor, and he was kind of a piano prodigy. Now, my mother was the local piano teacher. She had a master's degree in classical piano from Juilliard. Okay, so she was kind of the class of the area as far as piano teachers. But this kid was actually taking from a university professor at I think Colorado State when he was when Eric was 10 or 11, and he was a phenomenal piano player. I remember he and Mother would talk about playing piano all the time. And he was my best friend. Eric was my best friend. We hung out and did all kinds of things together. The only thing was he got interested in Playboys and the like earlier than I did, and was absolutely fascinated by them. I mean, and his parents let him keep them, thought that they were very, very liberal people, very liberal outlook, and they thought, oh, it's good for him, And my parents were, Southern Methodist, very conservative. None of that smut's gonna be in the house, And so, I would have gotten killed if I had ever been caught with one of those. So, anyway, but eventually, Eric and I had a falling out. I think by 8th grade, we weren't even friends anymore. We wouldn't even say hi to each other. Oh. I forget what it was about. It was, some 7th grade thing that happened.
Yeah.
And
some middle school ridiculousness.
Lost track of each other, and they, the years go by, and it's in the 1990s. Must have been about 19. No. It was about 2000, 2001. And I was visiting. It was when I was living back in Denver. Okay. But I was down here visiting, and my dad and I were watching America's Most Wanted. And on comes, the first nonviolent criminal in the history of America's Most Wanted is wanted for child sex slavery and luring children into sex slavery and selling slaves overseas and making child pornography films and all this stuff.
How is that not violent, though?
Okay. Well, and some of them were violent, and he may have made enough films with children. And so, and he was wanted by the Thai government. And those guys don't fool around, just so you know.
No, they do not.
But he was also wanted by the United States government and the French government and the Dutch government.
Good Lord.
And my dad settled in to watch John, what's his name, in America's Most Wanted, about this guy. And his name comes up, and it's Eric Rosser. Eric Rosser, the former keyboardist for John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh, fuck.
It was born on, and I said, don't say January 1st, 1952. January 1st, 1952. Because we all, he was born the first day of the year that I was born in. And we all thought that was, that was a cool thing about it back in the 7th grade. Right? Yeah. And so I said, don't be from Syracuse, New York. From Syracuse, New York. Oh, my God. Yeah, I said, that's Eric. My dad even remembered him, remembered his name. And so it all comes out that Eric had been going around Europe with like a Ryder truck that had inside it a piano that was a bicycle on one end, and the rest of it was a player piano with a little bench in front of it. And so he would wheel that into the little towns in France and in Holland, in the Netherlands, and would roll that out, would play and give the kids little treats and drugs and things like that.
Oh, I see. What? Okay, I know what. For a second, I thought I couldn't imagine what it looked like, but now I can imagine the piano and bike. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Imagine the piano, and then on one end, it's a bike that just merges into the piano. Gotcha. And the piano has wheels on it, to accommodate movement. Yeah. And so he would back it off, and so he was getting little girls and boys to ride in his Ryder truck away, and his Confederates would spirit them off to Thailand and sell them into slavery, sex slavery. And these kids were abducted and never seen again. Some of them may have been used in snuff films, films where a child is actually killed on camera because that's a good thing, right? And because that needs to exist. And I could not believe the depths of depravity this guy sunk into. Make a long story short, he was captured in Thailand. And but the United States said, "Hey, we've got first claim on him," and we pressured him and tried him in the United States. He was not given bail because he was considered a flight risk.
Right.
And he served like 15 years in prison over here, and then has been sent back to Thailand, and he's basically going to serve the rest of his life in a very nasty Thai jail.
Oof.
And his wife.
I think I would rather serve his sentence here.
He did serve. He served.
No, I mean, like, I would rather serve a life sentence in like the worst prison here.
He did not want to go back to Thailand. He seriously did not want to go back to Thailand. His wife is Thai. She is still back in Thailand trying to fight for his freedom, except recently the Thai government indicted her and maybe putting her in prison. Looks like she was just as guilty or like even more guilty than he was. Oh, like maybe even as a ringleader.
Okay.
So anyway, so yeah, that's a crazy, strange thing. That, this was my little buddy who I used to, he and I were I was the president, he was the vice president of the Douglas Valley Rock Hunting Club many innocent years ago. And he went on to a life of amazing sickness, really, truly a perversion of a life, and just really quite a talented guy, talented piano player, could play anything.
Yeah, Black Romeo says sounds very violent to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could call him a non-violent criminal.
Well, meaning that he didn't hold up, banks with a machine gun kind of a thing. And so he what they wanted him for was child pornography and distribution of child pornography, making and distribution of child pornography. So they had never had anybody who wasn't either a murderer, or a rapist, or a kidnapper on the FBI's most wanted list before Eric. But Eric did. Yeah, Eric Rosser. You can Google him and find out all about him. I wonder if there's anything updating on Eric Rosser, E-R-I-C-R-O-S-S.
Black Romeo says this story has a sort of happy ending. It does. He had to go back to Thailand.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
They don't have protective custody there.
Yeah, he joined Mellencamp's band in 1979 and toured with them for 2 years. And interesting, they have the incorrect birth date in Wikipedia. Mm. I know for a fact he was born January 1st. He was born New Year's Day. They have it January 1st, 17th, 1952, but that's wrong. There's a lot of wrong stuff in Wikipedia. I've been editing that for a long time, trying to fix stuff, and sometimes that's even. Anyway, yeah, he's got a Wikipedia article, the Eric Franklin Rosser, and that was the thing that my given first name is Franklin, and that was another. Well, in 7th grade. In 7th grade though, that's cool. Yeah. The guy's your neighbor, and you both share the same. Did
he show any indication of being a creep?
Just how attached he was to his Playboys. Like, he would let me look at the magazines, but he had to be holding the magazine. He would not let me hold the magazine.
Okay.
And I was just kind of going, interesting. I was just, starting to get interested in girls and the like. And, yeah. But anyway, let's see. Let's see.
Look, I'm going to throw my phone on the floor. Because, I can read chat so usefully with it on the floor.
Yeah.
It's extra easy that way.
His father was actually president of a big university in the United States. I think his father was, Dr. Rosser is a PhD in economics or something, was president of DePaul University. I think that's right. And the Air Academy High School. He went to, we went to Air Academy Junior High. And he went to Air Academy High School. I moved away, moved to Fairfax County in Virginia, and he stayed there. Yeah.
Yep. CP does not equal cerebral palsy.
Anyway, yeah, it's funny to think about. But anyway, we have another story. Did you want to cover the other story that?
Yes.
I'm tired of talking.
We have a story here that Pinkalo sent, and we've got a 15-year-old girl from where was it now? Let me look up the article here. Let me look up the article because it's an interesting case, because I think some of the things that are mentioned here are true, and some of them are blown a little bit out of proportion. So let's see here.
Wait, which story are you doing?
The one that Pinkalo sent me about the transgender bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Locker room.
Oh, yeah. That was what the fuck? Were you going to
see here? There it is. Teens complained after transgender student uses female locker room. This is a Yahoo News thing. Come on.
You want me to start reading it?
Sure.
Okay. A high school student in Pennsylvania has filed a complaint against her school, claiming her civil rights were violated and she was subjected to sexual harassment when a transgender student used the same locker room as her. A lawyer working with the teen has already filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education Civil Rights Division. detailing the female students' experience in a Honesdale High School locker room earlier this year. In a video accompanying the complaint, the unnamed 15-year-old student says she immediately became worried when she heard a man's voice as she was getting dressed. The complaint states that the transgender student at the center of the complaint identifies as female. While I was putting on my pants, I heard a man's voice, so I turned around and he's standing there on the opposite aisle looking at me, the female student said in the video. I glanced down and I could tell he was wearing women's underwear and looked what seemed to be a zucchini beneath it. According to the complaint, students were not made aware the transgender student was given permission to use the women's locker room. The complaining student's lawyer, Andrea Shaw, is now identifying the incident as a case of sexual harassment. Opening up restrooms and locker room facilities to members of the opposite sex is sexual harassment, Ms. Shaw stated. Like most forms of sexual harassment, the girls in this school have little power over their situation. Ms. Shaw went on to say the school's offered solution was for her client to wait outside of the locker room until the transgender student, who Shaw refers to as the individual of the opposite sex with a zucchini-like member, despite her identifying as female, was finished changing. The complaint further added the school asked the transgender student if she would be comfortable changing behind a shower curtain, with which she complied. God almighty. I'm sorry. Further, going forward, the spring 2019 semester, the schedule of the student who placed the complaint had been changed, so she was no longer enrolled in gym class with the transgender student. Well, that fixed it. Mm-hmm. The complaint alleges this does not lessen the 15-year-old's daily fear, quote unquote.
Somehow. This is where I'm getting annoyed with the complaint.
Right. Well, that's being done by her lawyer to do two things: to show that she was damaged permanently and can never work, and will have to have a huge amount awarded to her by the jury for some insurance company to pay, which nobody thinks anybody pays. And the other thing is to make sure that this doesn't get dropped. They worked it out. The complaint alleges this does not lessen her fear. The privacy rights of these girls don't change based on what a male student believes about their gender, Ms. Shaw said in a video. Administrators from Wayne Highlands School District did not respond to Yahoo Lifestyle's request for comment, but the superintendent told WNEP that the district's current policy aligns with recent court decision to allow trans students to use the facilities of their choosing. So here we are, where we have something that is built for, you have plant and equipment that's built for one situation that everybody thought was settled, and now it's not settled anymore, and it doesn't work.
Well, and the thing is that the lawyer has a few good points, because technically now you can just be like, identify as a woman and go hang out in the girls' locker room.
Oh, yeah.
And get a first-hand view.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that every person is doing that. However, and this is where I have problems, because I'm not one of those people who thinks that I know that there are trans people that actually are trans. We talk to them. We know at least 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that they would not. Do you know what I mean?
They would never make somebody feel uncomfortable.
No,
on purpose. In fact, they would be more modest about what was going on. I suspect if one of our friends were getting dressed in a woman's locker room, they would probably do it in such a way that there would not be any.
Like they would like do the towel trick.
Yeah, the towel trick, exactly.
Or like go in the stall or something like that. Like
right. There's all kinds of ways you can not show certain, key revelatory parts of the operation if you want to. But the answer, I suspect, is going to be individual dressing cubicles, basically. And they're going to be like little dressing rooms at the department store.
Or at the pool. That's what I'm thinking of. Those like dressing rooms that you in the family change room.
Yeah.
You can go in the freaking stall and change your child into their swimsuit. All that.
In the men's changing areas, men are such pigs. There's nothing like that. There's a bench in the middle and lockers on the side, and that's all. It's just everybody's all hanging out. Men are just dogs. Men are just, we don't care. We just don't. And so if.
But I mean, like, I can see where this lawyer, like, partially where this lawyer is coming from.
Yeah.
But for her to then pull the crap of this doesn't stop her daily fear.
I don't know if she has daily fear or not. We don't know if
like, all we hear from the complaint is that she became aware of a male who identifies as a female in the same room as her.
I mean, there's a I believe she's a social psychology professor at University of Santa Cruz, a militant TERF lesbian who has complained to the university that the sound of male voices has given her PTSD, and she's suing for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Because they allow males on the campus. And so, people are suing for anything. You can sue for anything. And that's a matter of U.S. law. You can sue because you don't like the sound of somebody sneeze. You can say that damaged me, and you might get hit with if the judge says that's a frivolous lawsuit, it's sort of like contempt of court. You're liable to pay a bunch of money, maybe even get sent to jail. But you can sue for anything. You can file an action to try and take it into court for almost anything. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very.
And now I know why. Like the teachers at Alex's school and the principal and all that like me so much, because I'm not one of the, like, most of the parents now are those, my kids are perfect. And if you dare speak against them, I will go over your head and complain.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, if he's been misbehaving, I need you to tell me so that I can back you up.
Exactly.
And it sucks because it's also reflected in the way report cards are written now. They are only allowed to use positive language. Even in the areas where your child needs improvement, they can't say that they need improvement in such and such an area. They have to say, we are continuing to work on.
Right.
The listening skills in story time.
Yeah. And we're very happy to see that after Johnny murdered little Susie in class, that he helped clean up some of the blood.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
It's like that.
It is like that.
That crazy.
It's like, it's so frustrating because then you can't accurately figure out what's going on in school.
You just have to adjust up everything. You have to be so subtle and hope that the teacher is equally adept at being subtle and conveying what the child really needs. And, my parents used to get notes from my teachers, this little asshole is not making any effort at all. He's very bright, but he's very bored. You know, for God's sake, can you challenge him at home, please? Yeah. Can you give him any attention at all? So, yeah, that was, those days are gone. The days of teachers being able to accurately communicate deficiencies of a student to parents are well, they're troubled days these days. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very hard thing to do. In these days of participation trophies, and everybody has to get an A. Everybody does great. Everybody's good. Everybody's great. Everybody's perfect. The wrong answer is just as good as the right answer. Don't be that way. 2 and 2 can be 5. Decolonize yourself.
Blind Girl says, honestly, my bad interactions with men, I would be upset if there would be a man in the change room, and I'd be even more upset now that I'm blind. Well, I'm not saying that the girl shouldn't be upset or shouldn't have been upset at the time, right? But for her lawyer to, like, now that her schedule's been changed so that it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there should be no freaking, I can't go into the same room as this person because they have been in there at some point. Like, that's...
Yeah.
No.
How can you expect me to get up in the morning anymore? I need to be retired.
Yeah. Oh, Yuzi saying, I'm glad I grew up in the 1970s.
Me too, Uzi. Me too.
You know what? I'm glad I grew up in the 90s, honestly, because I would hate having to grow up now.
But you missed some amazing hair in the 80s. The hair on men and women was amazing. I was looking at the hairdos from who was that? It was a concert from 1985, Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates concert from 1985, and the men all looked like lions. They didn't have hair; they had manes.
Okay.
They were like these really long mullets, you know, business in the front and party in the back. Those were the days, man. I never had a mullet. I never went mullet. I've always been one for when I was in bands and I was a rocker.
Yeah.
I had really long hair. I had hair down, you know, past my shoulders. But you know, then I got a cut for the Navy. I showed up at officer candidate school with hair like that. They just went, this is going to be fun. I mean, they shave you. They freaking shave you. They don't. And the reason that they do that, there's a couple of reasons they do that. First of all, they want to make sure you don't have a health problem. You don't have lice or anything. The other thing is that they just don't want to have to mess with that.
Yeah.
You know, for the first intensive part of your training, because they're trying to do several things the first few weeks. They've got to get you have to learn a whole bunch of things about just the basics of being in the Navy. You have to go through a lot of physical and mental intimidation, and they've got to get you wearing a uniform and get you disciplined and get you in the habit of, you know, getting up and being able to shower inside of 60 seconds. You had to take a shower in 60 seconds. And they would watch you. They would make sure you cleaned yourself. And they had a remedy if you didn't. And you didn't want the remedy. The remedy was a fire hose. Cold fire hose.
That's crazy.
Yes, they would do that. And if anybody in your company got the fire hose, the whole company had to field day the bathroom. And it was a big fucking bathroom. And they would and you had to clean it with toothbrushes. That was another thing. So I only ever had to do that once, but it's really sucked. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's almost hazing, almost like being in a fraternity, stuff that you go through. And yeah, I had the long hair. That came off. They laughed when they were cutting my hair. I by far had the longest hair of anybody in my company. Didn't last. Anyway, I don't know why I reminisce like that. I didn't sleep that well last night. And, sometimes when I talk, I'm tired, I'll ramble on about myself. Really? Really, Skep? We've noticed that every time you're on a stream, you ramble on about yourself. I know. It's who I am. Pincalo says, pump and dump were not that hard. Stop making it sound like it was this big evil thing. Whiny officers. Okay. Some truth bomb from Pincalo there. Let's see. Thoughts from the dryer says, my mom tried to get my haircut on base when I was about 6. I refused. I guess I thought I would come out shaved. Yeah. Base barbers and hairdressers can be aggressive.
I can see that. Yeah.
They're sort of, hey, it grows back. It's kind of their philosophy. So, cut it shorter is better. And
we've got to get Alex's haircut.
How long is his hair?
He's got hair. It's below his. It's gonna touch his shoulders soon.
And really?
And he's got bangs too.
Oh man.
He's at the point now where he's blowing his hair out of his face.
No,
he's
you got to keep it out of his face.
And every time we're like, Alex, let's go get the clippers. No. Why? Because I love you. But what?
Yeah. Pincalo says that he went into the Navy looking like a calico cat. How do you think they felt about him? Yeah. Not the same as me.
The colored hair. I forgot about that, honey.
Yeah. So
he did it. That's right. He told me he had dyed hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually with Goatman here. Goatman says, I love super short out in the summer, but I let it grow long for the winter. I let my hair grow out a little bit in the winter.
Same, because my hair grows so quickly.
Does it really?
I only need to get it cut. Like, I got it cut in February last year, and it's already below my shoulder blades when it's down.
Really?
And I had it in like just at my ears.
Yeah.
So I had it pretty short.
Yeah.
And so it grew all the way back to where it was when I had it cut in a year.
Do you like it long?
I like to wear it long in the winter.
Yeah.
Because I hate hats. They tend to block my ears.
Yeah.
So I usually wear my hair really long in the winter. And then around this time of year, like February or March, I make an appointment with my friend. She owns a hair salon. She's been a family friend since before I was born, actually. She was my mom's roommate when she was pregnant with me. So I basically walk in there and I can get a cut and streaks put in my hair for $60.
Yeah.
Because
streaks in your hair for $60.
A cut and streaks.
And it costs $60?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Because it takes so much time, and they'll actually for a person who's not, it's like a regular person, that's over $100 of time.
Wow.
Because you've got to do the cut, and then they have, especially for me, you've got to bleach my hair. Yeah. You've got to bleach the parts of the hair that you want to put streaks in, because my hair is almost black. Because I usually
you have really dark hair.
I usually go for red streaks.
You do have really dark brown hair, don't you?
Yeah.
I saw that in that picture.
So I usually go for some nice red highlights.
Yeah.
And so they have to bleach that and let that sit, and then they have to dye that and let that sit.
Right.
And so you're paying the technicians, you're paying the hairdresser.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm basically paying just a little bit over half of what I should be paying.
Wow.
Because it's a family friend. If I asked her if there was any, because she also sells product there.
Yeah.
And I bet you if I had asked her how much it would cost me to buy a shampoo and conditioner set, she would probably give me a discount on that as well. She does for my mom. I know that.
My wife, when she was putting herself through nursing school with 3 children after her husband had thrown her and her 3 children out.
What a lovely man.
He is evil. He still thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny to this day. That's another story. This is how I met my wife and what an amazing person she is. She, first of all, didn't have enough money to go to nursing school. She didn't even have enough money to go to cosmetology school. And that was like, part of that was included with the rest of her high school diploma, which she dropped out of. So she delivered pizzas and studied to be a cosmetologist. Then she got her cosmetology license. She worked in a hair salon place for a year, got enough money to go to nursing school, got into nursing school, studying at night, raising 3 kids, and became a nurse. Of course, started earning a lot of money. And she fairly amazing woman. But anyway, she still cuts hair. She can still cut hair. She cuts my hair. And she will dye hair and do all that stuff. And she won't take a penny for it.
Aww.
And she mostly she does a lot of old people's hair. She's a real artiste with little old ladies.
Aw,
she likes
awesome.
make them look cute.
Pinkalo just says in chat, when she actually takes care of her hair, it looks like a Greek goddess.
Well, that's a sideways compliment, Pinkalo.
No, it's true. Because when I'm dealing with my depression and stuff,
you let yourself go.
I do not take care of myself.
Yeah. I can't believe that.
So yeah, when I actually do take care of my hair, it looks like people look at me like when I used to be a person that was less depressed and went outside more.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer. When they would look at my hair and how well I got tanned, they'd be like, "Are you Mediterranean?"
Looking at
like, no.
Looking at that picture of you, I could see you if you had a little bit more color. That picture of you is kind of a winter you. If you had a little more color, I could see you as being mistaken for Italian.
Yeah, they go, "Are you Spanish or Italian?"
Yeah, that's what I would think too, especially with that real dark hair.
Yeah, and it's it's really wavy and very curly, very thick.
Yep. I think it's what they call the hair that women would kill for.
Yeah.
And, most women, they give up on their hair because they can't do anything with it.
Whenever my friend is cutting my hair, she's like, "Oh my God, do you know how many women I see every day that would kill for this hair?"
Right. Yep.
Like, I would love to figure out how to get it donated somewhere.
What do you mean? That's simplicity itself. Cut it and bag it.
to like
locks of love.
That's That I wasn't sure if they would still take it.
Yeah, they'll take blind people's hair.
Well, not because I'm blind. I'm just saying, like, I didn't think they were accepting. I heard it was really hard to donate to them now. I don't know why.
It has to be sufficient length, and there's some other stuff too. I forget what it is. Let's see. Locks of love. Let's look that up real quick. Locks of love. Locks of love since 1997.
I want the Bart Simpson hairstyles as Gene.
Yeah, let's see. Locks of love. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Cancer patient. Blah, blah, blah. Wigs. Blah, blah, blah. As the hair is considered to be a body part and analogous to blood, any hair donations are not tax deductible. Let's see.
Is it the patriarchy that conditions them to want your hair?
Yeah, right.
Yes, exactly. Fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Astronaut Joan Higginbottom cut her ponytail off on the space station. The ponytail was brought back to Earth by the STS-116 crew. Interesting. Serena Williams did the same thing. So there you go. It doesn't look like it's very hard to do. The problems have been more very little of donated hair. So let's see. Locks of Love sends the best of the hair it receives to a wig manufacturer, tailor-made hair replacement in Millbrae, California, which sorts selection and rejects up to half of it. Very little of the donated hair ends up in wigs. The other donated hair is sold for profit to pay for the manufacturing process and to raise funds for the organization's activities. And
I gotcha.
So, there's they have almost become like a hair wholesaler.
Yeah.
And most of the wigs that they do go to children with alopecia, and then second place is cancer patients. And
I didn't know that.
And their wigs are primarily for children. And
yes.
The other hair that for whatever reason is rejected for the children's wigs is sold to other wig makers, and then they pass through a lot of that money. They're big givers of money too. So they were criticized a couple of years ago for poor accounting practices, and I understand they've tightened that up. So
I would love for like a little girl with alopecia or leukemia going through chemotherapy treatment.
Sure.
To have some nice hair.
Yeah, it would mean a lot. I think it's pretty wonderful, actually. So there you go. My daughter donates. She basically grows a foot of hair and donates it.
Oh, awesome!
To Lots of Love. It's done years and years and years and years. That's what I was going to say. And all the my ex is big on that. Her hair my ex's hair grows so slowly. She would be like able to donate 1 foot of hair in her life. But her daughter grows hair like I do. My hair grows really rapidly, and so does Andrea's. So
yeah,
she throws him a foot of hair a year, and she's got great hair.
So Pincalo sent me a Twitter thread the other day that I read from.
What was it?
It was called the hashtag Ableds are weird.
Ableds are weird?
Ableds.
Okay.
And so I've pulled it up again because I didn't read all of it. And
well, sure.
So some of these things, so these are all things that disabled people have experienced. Either able-bodied people doing or saying to them.
Like what?
And so before we get into this, I don't like the hashtag because I don't like that they're like kind of saying ableds, like
victim group.
An
oppressive group and a victim group. Great.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Certainly don't have enough of those.
Some of these are annoying. Some of these are really funny. Some of these are absolutely believable. Some of them are not. So let's I'm trying to get to where I left off. Oh yeah, apparently I'm too pretty to wear the mask that allows me to breathe outside without going into anaphylactic shock.
But that's somebody who's they're clumsily trying to deliver a compliment.
Yeah.
They're just being idiots. They're not being mean. They're just being idiots. Okay.
Let's see. Somebody just saying, please take some time to this day to read this tag. Seeing hashtag ableds are weird makes me feel less alone. I see others out there that that have to deal without groceries like me, because yes, I really need one of those 2 handicapped spots at the store. If I don't get one, I have to drive around till one is free or go home. Why can't you have your groceries delivered to you?
There's that possibility, isn't there?
Why can't you see if your store has that pickup that
like Walmart has?
Yeah, like the pickup, and like they collect everything that you ask for, and then you just
Brenda, my wife is completely able-bodied. She calls them up, they pick up her stuff, they pick out the produce and stuff that she wants. She drives up, they load it in the car, she hands them her credit card. She doesn't even get out of the car. This is my wife.
Why can't they? Here's a new concept. For many, many years before delivery companies, taxis used to deliver things. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So that one's a little aggravating to me.
I'm going to mute. I'm sorry, I didn't know that my son was going to be.
No. The tweet is aggravating to me. That seems a little bit whiny.
Gotcha. But I am going to listen here.
Here's the next one. One time at Moe's, when the restaurant was completely empty except for my table, a worker came up and, without interaction or eye contact, took my walker and rolled it behind the door. Okay, then. I'd be like, why are you touching my shit? I'd be like, what are you doing? That's my walker. Why are you touching my walker?
Yeah, what if they came up and took your cane away from you?
I would be so pissed. Like, whether the restaurant is full or not, I'd be like, why are you touching my shit? Go away.
You want to keep that hand? Get off my cane.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the next one. When my grandma calls me and asks me if I'm better yet and I say no, she says, "Well, this is taking forever. Why are you still sick? Why aren't you? I just want you to feel better. I don't know. Maybe it's just my chronic illness." That's just, I read an interesting post about this morning in a blind pen pals group I'm in on Facebook, where there's a person whose family insists on dragging them to doctor after doctor to see if their blindness can be cured. They were born blind, and this has been happening their whole life. They're 23 years old, and their family just won't stop with that. So,
you know, that's a good point. How come you don't go to faith healers to get your blindness cured? Don't you care? Don't you feel? Isn't it worth the effort?
Yeah. Faithless, you've brought up a good point. So it seems to me that this hashtag will do nothing but lower sympathy for disabled people. Most of it does, yeah.
I agree.
Most of this stuff is not worth bitching about. Like, there were a couple the other day that I read where, like, a woman crawled under the door of the accessible bathroom stall because she saw a wheelchair in there and assumed that the person in the stall needed help.
So she crawled into the stall to help the lady?
Yeah.
The person?
Yeah.
Weren't they surprised?
That's worth saying something about. But stuff like this. Yeah.
I just the mental image of
yeah, I know.
I'm coming, honey. I don't come in. Just go away. Leave me alone, crazy lady.
Here's the next one. Shout out to the subway conductor who just came out of the booth in the middle of a tunnel to talk to me about my headphones. Oh, probably a blind person. I've gotten that.
What do you mean?
I've had people come up to me, like on the bus or something, and ask me, why am I wearing headphones if I'm blind? I shouldn't be doing that. And
why?
I'm like, I can hear the bus stops being announced. I'm not blaring. Like, I'm like, I can do what I want. Thank you.
Yes, like, it's interesting that they think you're an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
If you're blind. I have noticed that about people with something like blindness. I many years ago, this was 19. Well, it is during the Wilson administration. I had a deaf girlfriend. True story. And we were moderately serious. It was, pretty well down the track.
Yeah.
Before she pulled a knife on me. That was actually what broke us up. That's another interesting story from my past. But anyway, yeah, she was always saying that people treat you like you have a mental deficiency, like you're a 10-year-old, like you're a lost child. That was what she used to say. I'm so tired of being treated like a lost child. And
yeah, it's like, people have said, why are you wearing headphones? That's not safe.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I know, like, I specifically buy specific types of headphones that do not block your hearing.
Well, sure.
If I am walking outside, my volume is lowered. If I'm crossing the streets, the headphones come off. It's like it's almost like I've been blind for a while and know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I know how to be blind. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks awfully. But, I've got this. Jeez.
Here's a hyperbolic one. It's horrifying how many stories in the hashtag abled are weird are about educational or medical professionals, and then they wonder why disabled people don't trust them. I haven't seen a single educational or doctor. Oh, I'm sorry, I saw one doctor one.
I would think most doctors and professionals, therapists and that sort of thing would be pretty understanding, pretty au courant with, what was up with disabilities, right?
It depends. Some of my teachers were pretty awful at making sure that my notes were sent to the Braille translator.
Really?
Yeah, it was almost a daily thing where they would be, it was specific. Some of them were great.
Yeah.
Some of them would be like, here's the notes for the next 2 weeks. Others would be like, oh, it's February. I've seen you every day for 5 months, and I'm still forgetting to send these notes to your teacher or your translator. So there are some educators who are they just don't get it, but they are much fewer and further between than they used to be. So for this, like, that's what I said about that tweet being hyperbolic, because first of all, I haven't read any tweets about an educator so far, and I've only read one doctor.
Mm-hmm. That's less than I would expect.
And there's a lot of issues with note taking all the way up to the university level. Yeah, the notes thing was the biggest issue for me.
Really?
There wasn't really much of a, like, in 4th and 5th grade, there was an issue with my gym class. I've told that story a lot about how I was excluded from gym class and then marked poorly for participation.
Nice.
Yeah. But as I got older, that problem diminished. But the Braille, like the getting the notes put into Braille was the issue. And that was still one of the biggest barriers in university. There was a lot of liaising I had to do with the accessibility department. There was only one guy who was putting things into Braille for, I believe there were 6 blind people when I was there, 5 or 6 people that needed Braille or at least large print. And there was only one guy that was hired to do that for all of us. So, there was waiting involved.
Yeah. Sure.
It is a balancing act. But again, it's not anywhere near as bad as, say, being a blind person and trying to get an education in, I don't know, India.
Right. In India, they yes, we have the seat for the blind person. You sit there. Wait till day is over, then go home.
Oh, look, here's another snarky piece of shit garbage tweet. If you need a reality check as an able-bodied person, educate yourself with #ableds are weird, because that's what you want to be told as an able-bodied person if you want to educate yourself on how to interact with disabled people, that you're weird. This hashtag isn't a joke. It's about harassment and bullying. World, do better.
World do better. World do better. Shit. Give me a break.
I knew this would be gold.
God. I hear Paul Joseph Watson. World do better.
Yeah, I know, right?
That prissy voice he has.
If you're new to following me and want to check out other trending tags I've created, see things disabled people know. The Oscars, because apparently there needs to be disabled people in Hollywood. You can love me, but you can't hold my hand. That's a hashtag. I wonder what that hashtag is about. That one sounds terrifying. 4 out of 5. Trigger warning: sexual assault. Healthcare while colored. Comebacks for ableism. These are all hashtags that this person has created. And then ableds are weird is in that hashtag as well. Oh, and here's one. How to piss off disabled people. Oh, okay. I wonder what actually pisses off disabled people. Let's see what people have put in this hashtag. This seems like it'll be a bunch of whining bastards. If I can get through all the goddamn links. I don't just need sports/camping store, or I don't just mean sports/camping stores when I say no, I do not want you to bring downstairs for me to look at. I would like there to be ramps and lifts and spades. I have been dealing without the legal requirement for 20 years now. So somebody bitching about sports and camping stores, and that tweet makes no sense. So you want access to shopping places? I thought you had that. I'm confused. I'm pretty sure I've seen ramps and automatic doors and like, am I crazy, or is there not access to?
It's so easy for them to overstate, the relative seriousness of stuff.
That's weird.
Yes, it is.
You're too young to have this. Try being my age and see how easy you have it. Oh, being told you're too young to have a chronic illness. See, this is being, okay. Do you think a chronic illness is the same as a disability?
No. I mean, a chronic illness can be disabling. Something like leukemia can be disabling and can rob you of your energy to the point where you can't even stand up hardly. So some chronic illnesses, some chronic conditions can be disabling, no doubt about it.
But to classify them?
No, generally
the same...
they are not. They are not. That's exceptional. Only in the very, most profound, most serious. Sorry about the background noise. Only in the most serious.
Pincalo clarified that Garbledy-Gook tweet. He said she's mad at the Bass Pro Shops. She's mad because the fishing and hunting departments are upstairs, and they're offering to bring down whatever she wants for her to look at. So she's mad that they're trying to accommodate her by bringing the things that she can't get to on her own to her. But it's not good enough that she actually got herself into the store. She's mad that she can't get to the actual department.
Okay. Do you sometimes, I noticed
first world problems?
Yeah. I saw your tweet earlier. You said something to the effect you've come to the conclusion that you only stay on Facebook for the lulz, for the lol cows.
I do. I read a post on the same Blind Pen Pals group I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Where this person was angry at their family because I guess they had asked for help to try and locate a container that they wanted to use to put some food in.
Okay.
And their family member said, called them out because I guess it had been easily located.
Okay.
So I guess the family member had basically said, you need to actually look harder and, find it. And that's fine. That is actually fine to say to a blind person. If you know you're blind, if you know that your blind friend / family member is trying to milk the I can't see where it is, help me find it, and you say you need to look for it harder, it's right in front of you, or, if you had just felt a little over here, you would have found it. So this guy posted, I'm feeling really angry and lost right now because my family member faked me into admitting that I hadn't been looking hard enough for the container. I really need some opinions here, guys.
Fuck off.
How about you actually stop using your disability as a fucking crutch?
Yeah. Unfortunately, blind, you are not typical of people.
Apparently.
A lot of people just get beat into the ground. And I've run into this because you see more than an average amount in AA of disability of one kind or another. Drinking can be compensatory. And you see people who, their disability won. In your case, you won and you beat, the all-time champion disability. Blindness is pretty much the only thing that trumps paralysis in terms of disability. You beat the champ. You beat Muhammad Ali. You are the greatest of all time. But that is often not the way it plays out. And what you're seeing and reacting to is, the result of that, unfortunately. It's sad.
And the comments, there's one person that's like, "Oh, that is so stupid. I would be so mad if my family member had said that to me."
Yeah.
I was the only one that commented and was like, "So you're angry because you got called out for not doing something that you're capable of doing? How about?" And I even said I had the same issue when I was younger because I did.
Yeah.
But sometimes I still do. Sometimes I don't look hard enough for something.
Yep.
And instead of getting angry at your family for trying to get you to not be dependent on them forever, how about you grow a pair of balls?
But see,
and fucking look for your container.
That's different people have more or less strength at doing that. You're a good ball grower. Okay. You have had to grow your balls lots of times and you do it. And it's effortless. It's part of who you are. It's part of your life. It's become part of your psyche. And some people, you're one, become strong by being strong. And they are strong because they have made themselves strong. That's you. other people, they get beaten down by the fact that other people have options that they don't have. And that differential just grates on them, and they concentrate and focus on that instead of focusing on the set of things that they still can do. Can I tell you a little story here?
Sure.
It's about a guy in Colorado, actually. And he was Mr. Everything in high school, quarterback, high school football team, all that kind of stuff. And he big motorcyclist. And to make a long story short, he was in a terrible accident and lost both his legs.
Oof.
And he got in a terrible place about it. He became an alcoholic, was on his way to killing himself. And came out of it, got sober, and made a bunch of money in investing, and bought an airplane. And he had it outfitted so he could fly it with just his hands.
Oh, cool.
And a special seat and all that stuff. And he could actually, I've seen pictures of him getting in the plane and so forth. Crashed his airplane.
Oh.
And he lost both of his arms at the forearm.
Oh, fuck.
And he describes the experience, okay, he said, when I graduated from high school, I was in top physical shape, and there were probably 10 million things that I could do. I lost my legs. There maybe got cut down to 1 million things I could do. And then when I lost my arms, probably cut it down to 100,000 things I could do. He said, I'll never get through those 100,000 things.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yep. You know what he is now?
What?
He's mayor of a medium-sized city in Colorado.
That is pretty awesome. Pink Hollow says, putting your hand 4 inches above something that's 1 inch tall, you've got to look harder. Yeah. And then he says, and yes, we say look, even though she's using her hands, get the fuck over it.
Yeah. Means find. Okay. Or fetch or whatever. Wait, yeah. But I actually would imagine some people would be afraid that they would hurt your feelings by saying something like, did you see that? Or did you, what are you looking for?
Oh, people used to give my best friend shit all the time.
For saying see or look?
Well, no, it was at recess, I would put my cane down in a specific spot and we would play. And I would, at the end of recess, I would go to find my cane and I'd be like, where the hell did I put it? And she wouldn't come running and help me. She'd be like, yeah, it's over there to your right. Yep. And people would be...
She was a good friend.
People would be like, why are you saying over there? She's like, I said to your right. She's like, why are you getting it for her? Why? She can get it. She can walk.
Yeah.
Well, you're so mean. You should just get it for her. Well, I'm not always going to be here to get shit for her.
Yeah. Do I need to draw you a diagram? God damn.
And we're still friends to this day.
Of course. That's a real friend. So anyway, that's there are a lot of people, like I said, there are people who are just going to get beaten down by whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they are, there's nothing for it. They won't get better. And their attitude won't be better, and their lives won't be better until they decide to be better. Well, it's a decision they can make, and something they have much more control over than they're willing to admit to themselves.
This group is just full of blind people that are like there's this 18-year-old girl who thinks that it's fun to prank call people at 18. She wanted to prank call the rehabilitation center, like the independent living skills center that she supposed to go to. A whole bunch of people talked her out of doing that.
Thank God.
But she put out a post in this group today going, how do you people put labels on your DVDs in Braille? I'm trying to put the label tape in my Brailler, but it just keeps falling out. Now, I know the label tape she's talking about, okay? It comes in tape rolls, okay? It's label tape. It's just thicker. What you're supposed to do with that is put it in what's called a Braille labeler, and it's a hand thing that it's like a dispenser, and you spin a dial to the corresponding
letter
or whatever you want.
Right.
You squeeze it.
Right.
It punches it into the plastic and then moves it up, unrolls it and pushes it up so you can push the next letter down.
Right.
She's trying to put that in a Braille typewriter. That shit's like half an inch wide.
What?
Of course it's gonna fall out of your fucking Brailler. You fucking tard. You're 18 years old. How do you not know this?
Jeez. That's just somebody who's completely unclear on the concept.
This is somebody whose parents do
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, that's why I posted that tweet, because I read that post and my mouth just opened and closed and opened and closed.
Sort of like fish-like.
Yeah. I just kind of sat there just mouthing nothing.
Yeah. Like a fish on land. I try to breathe and nothing happens. Yeah. It's funny. That is funny. By the way, speaking of Twitter, just a public service announcement. I'm noticing that Twitter is having problems. Twitter is known to have had a problem in the last 24 hours with AT&T Wi-Fi. And it's specific to AT&T, and they thought they had it worked out this morning. Things were going along fine for a while, and I noticed the same thing is happening. It's not as bad as it was last night, but a lot of us spent a lot of time last night, like till 1 o'clock this morning, trying to figure out what the F was wrong with our systems. And it turned out nothing was wrong with our system. It was Twitter.
Yeah.
So, but I cleaned a lot of stuff off my hard drive and out of my browser cache and everything else, but still having some issues. Just so public service announcement, it's looking like we're having some issues again.
Says it's just the old. So he's describing the old plastic. He's the Braille labeler. He says it's literally just the old plastic labeler with Braille.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's a label machine. You know, just it uses Braille symbols, puts Braille into the tape. And,
yeah, she was trying to put that in her Brailler.
In her Brailler. Okay.
She's lucky it didn't fall in.
That's what I was just going to say. Wouldn't that just extremely mess that up?
It could.
Yeah. Because it would get down in the, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. People are funny. But, you know, we have sighted people who inject fruit juice into their veins. So
we do.
I don't know. It's kind of a wonderful, strange world that we live in these days, Blinds. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, you going to be on the show tonight?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, anyway, I have an idea about the show. I want to discuss it with you off the air. Possible something interesting to do on the show.
Cool.
And but I don't want. Well, anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it here in a few minutes. After we do that, what's going on in chat? I
was about to say chat.
Ignoring chat. Sorry.
I was about to say chat. I think it's going to be your time till the end of the stream because it's about 1:45. So.
Irate prostate is Dymo. Yeah, Dymo. The Dymo tape.
Dymo tape, yeah.
Yep. That's the name of the labeler. Thank you, buddy. And Uzi Hugh says everyone just wants to be special. And she's right.
Yep.
She's right. So
did you get my DM? I said I'd love to have you on Friday, by the way, bud.
I'm sorry, did you say I rate?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent me a DM yesterday and I responded, but I don't know if he got it.
Zombie Teddy says that I really need to work on my sarcasm voice. You actually sounded serious. Lol. Uh-oh. You know, actually that's a problem that I have. Sometimes my deadpan, I like deadpan humor, and I like to get humor across by saying absurd things in a very deadpan voice.
Yeah.
And I don't use sarcasm, the sarcastic voice, when it would be appropriate to use it.
I have an aunt. She's from Siberia, and her brother Ivan is incredibly deadpan, and he loves deadpan humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a really nice Columbia winter coat for Christmas one year. I was like 13, and it had like all sorts of pockets and all sorts of. It was a really cool jacket, really nice and warm.
Oh yeah.
And he picks it up and he looks at it and he goes, "It is good jacket. You could be drug dealer."
Good jacket could be drug dealer.
That's Ivan. He's just
wonderful. That's wonderful. Faithless actually said something interesting about the headphones thing. People assume that you listen the same way that they do, which is at full volume, blasting everything else, because they can't stand the shattered pieces of their own miserable existence. They try and anesthetize themselves with high volume, thrashcore, vor metal or whatever. But let's see who else was talking up there. Oh, Hey Camel dropped by. I didn't even notice Hey Camel was in there. That's how bad I was not paying attention to chat. And let's see. Faithless called us hate mongers. He's right. Pop and Hop said, I tried to start Blocks of Hate. It was a hair procuring outreach for skinheads. It didn't go so well. But it's humor from Pop and Hop. Very nice.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. Faithless says, seems to me that this will do nothing but cause a loss of empathy for disabled people. That's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not going to help. It's not helping.
It's not.
Some guy with a big chip on his shoulder about,
Well, and there are a lot of disabled people that either like just snark at people for no good reason, or they say in one breath, I don't want to be treated differently because of my disability. But the minute they act up and people call them out as a normal person would, they're like, but I have disabilities and I'm
the first recourse of a scoundrel. Yeah. Disabilities are what they are. And if you can't change them, then the only thing you can do is change the way you react to it. Yeah. I mean, that's true of your circumstances in life. I wasn't born a trust bunny in Boulder, Colorado. I thought for a lot of my life that would be the ultimate, would be to be born one of these kids whose, father was a rich gynecologist with an only child. And just, have a trust fund, never have to work throughout my life. Just ski and stay high, right?
Exactly.
And listen to music, and that would be my life. And you think about that. First of all, it's not as good a life as you think it is. Those guys kill themselves a lot, a whole lot.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And the other thing is, I wouldn't have gotten to do, the cool stuff that I did in my life. I enlisted in the Navy because I was desperate.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to work. I had worked as a teller in a bank as a summer job when I was in college, one of my many, many summer jobs when I was in college. And that was not my future. I did not see that for my future. I did not want some, indoor thing like that. So I took a chance, and I never would have taken that chance. I really don't think I would have taken that chance had I not been out of options. I could try and hire on a dig someplace, working literally minimum wage or even below minimum wage. If it was in a foreign country, you'd work at below minimum wage.
Yeah.
You'd literally work for food and a tent shelter and transportation to and from the dig. That's all you got. And plus you got your name on that dig, on the research for that dig.
Right.
And, try and eke myself into a master's degree program with anthropology, that after I finished that program, there would be one job for every 10 applicants. Okay. And I'm not a fat black tranny, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
I'm not high on the oppression stack. I'm a full, able-bodied cis white man. So I did the only thing I could do. I sort of impressed myself into the naval service. I threw myself into the Navy and, did the best I could. Got a different education that way. I realized I couldn't do the thing that I loved to do. I realized I was not going to be Eric Clapton, and I realized I was not going to be Louis Leakey. Those were my two, heroes at the time. I was not going to be, Claude Levi-Strauss, or E. Evans Pritchard, or Dr. Livingston. And so I had to figure out something else. And that worked out.
That's good.
And I was not, I was never special in any way. I was not especially athletic or especially good looking or especially anything. I was average in many, many, many ways. Yeah, but I still had fun. I had a ball. I really did. A lot of hard times, but a lot of great times.
Faithless says, I absolutely hate the term cis. It is a pejorative term to degrade normal people.
That's actually a good comment.
Yeah.
I think that's a great comment, actually. I don't like it. I use it ironically.
Yeah.
And sarcastically, as to show that it is a pejorative, as Faithless puts it. Faithless is smart. Faithless makes a lot of good comments. Have you noticed that?
He really does.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Camel is still there.
Yeah.
He's waiting for Johnny Hellcat to start his stream. Hey, Camel, why don't you show your stream in chat?
Yes, do that.
Type your stuff in.
You don't need a wrench anymore to do
that. And throw the stream address in there. And
everybody, don't forget to either go watch Johnny Hellcat's stream or Redneck Radio. No, not today. It's Wednesday today.
Thursday is Redneck Radio, right?
Never mind.
And
but
don't forget to watch Minions stream tonight.
Yes.
Can hear our hero, Blind Press, and yours truly, hosting the show this evening, Wednesday, and that will be at 10:30 Central Time. That's 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and what is that? 8:30.
8:30 Pacific.
Pacific Time. I can do subtraction in my.
Hooray!
As long as there's
simple math.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. That's arithmetic. It's not even mathematics. Yeah. But anyway, it's been a great stream. Another fine Monday. Thank you for having me on, my dear. It's
and Pincala says, and go watch my shitty video. It's not shitty. Go. It's a good video. He's been doing short videos called An Ape Reads, where he picks
Pincala, put it in chat.
Little funny. I think he's driving. I don't think he can.
Here, keep talking.
He's been picking little articles that are like little funny and or about people who do stupid things. And he's been reading them and doing, the way he does it. He's been reading them the way he reads Blind in the Special articles, but he just does like one.
Is this an Ape Drives or a series?
An Ape Reads.
An Ape Reads?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Find that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alrighty. Let me just get that, and we'll that and grab that.
Ape Reads a booga 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 or ooga ooga ooga.
Here's Pincala's video. Here.
Yeah, go watch Pincala's not shitty videos, says Peter Almond. Yes. And also, Friday, it has just been confirmed, Irate Prostate will be our guest. Or my guest, I should say.
Outstanding in its field.
And there's Pincala's video. Skeps just put it in chat.
Yeah. Be sure and watch Lines and my brother Irate on Friday. That's going to be one I will. That is just not miss TV in my opinion. the two of you on is going to be very entertaining. I'm going to have popcorn and everything.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you're going to have some fun. Yeah, he's loads of fun and just about as good-hearted a person as you ever want to meet.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's funny, acerbic, and good-hearted. It's a great combination. He and Uzi are, two of my favorite folks.
They're awesome people.
Yes, they are. All right. Well, you want to take us out of here? Again, thanks for having me on, and thanks, Chet, for being here. So,
yes.
Calgon, take me away.
Thank you very much, Skep, for coming on. And it's always fun to have Wednesdays with Skep.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm trying to figure out Thursdays because I have my orientation lessons around 12:30, but the problem is I'm streaming. So I may either not do a Thursday stream or do a stream like a gaming stream or something that doesn't require lots of views that you guys can come back and watch later. I'll keep an eye on Twitter for my decision. I will figure it out. And I honestly completely forgot about orientation when I switched my time.
Uh-oh.
Because it's just once a week.
Yeah.
So it's but I will figure it out and I will let everybody know what's going on. So keep your eye on Twitter and be sure.
DM me on that and I
will
try and get it out to my mom.
And also be sure to watch Minions of the Zoo tonight. Thank you guys for coming out and we'll see you guys later.
Bye everybody.